morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Frederick, Colorado. My name is Michaela. This morning we are going through a brand new 3-horse LQ. This is your Ciamrron with Outlaw Conversion inside. This one's one of your Pro line packages, so just one of your pre-packaged interior options. But again, brand new, just hit the lot, so I'm excited to bring you guys through it and show you kind of some of the changes we've done and what you are now seeing from these two manufacturers. Before we get to the trailer here in person, we'll go ahead and run through just our Ciamrron drawing, just give you those overhead dimensions together really quick. So on this one, we are 8 foot wide, 7'7" tall, with a 6 foot hay rack standalone up top, so you're getting your full 7'7" clearance inside. We have an 11 foot short wall on this one, total floor length of 25 feet 3 inches, and just your 8'2" nose on this one because we don't have that front end enclosure. So just barely over 25 feet on the floor. Really good, manageable size trailer here that we have. Real easy to get into some of maybe your smaller campgrounds for those full RV hookups. Just real easy to get into truck stops, fuel stops, that sort of thing. But let's go ahead and get to this trailer here in person and we'll go through some of these options. So starting right here, again, I mentioned this is your ProLine XP by Outlaw Conversions. So all this means is that it's one of your pre-packaged interiors. You're not gonna get your real top high-end finishes such as exotic leathers, your fancier drawer pulls, some of your more high-end features that you can see and customize with your full Outlaw conversion. You are still getting their same quality of construction though. So you're still gonna get your real true hardwood. None of this is particle board or plywood or anything like that. It's all real true hardwood, the beautiful wood stain finishes, the quality craftsmanship that you see in our Outlaw conversions, all that remains the same. Being a prepackaged interior, you're getting a 1-year warranty on your Outlaw package here. Anything that they install though. So your microwave, maybe that comes with like a 2-month warranty or something like that. They're gonna cover it for a year because they installed it. Same goes for your generator. Outlaw installs those as well. So you're getting a 1-year warranty on that. And when you have an Outlaw, no matter if you buy new or used, you still get their 24/7 tech support, which is great to just run through some of your troubleshooting process with you guys. Have our lighted grab bar out here. We have an exterior porch light right there. And then we have a string of LEDs under our awning. This one is an electric awning, so this guy will push out here and give you some of that outdoor living space, a shaded area out there. And then while you guys are outside, you do have an exterior outlet right here as well. So you guys can plug in whatever you need to right here just to have that exterior power so you're not running extension cords from inside your LQ out here. But we'll go ahead and take a step in. Oh, before we step in, point out your screen door as well. You do have that rolling screen door right here with that magnetic clip. Now we'll go ahead and step in and check out what you get in here. So we'll start over in our kitchen and just kind of work our way through this trailer. You have your forward kitchen on this one. So a lot of people will look for either a rear kitchen because they don't want theirs here, and a lot of people love the forward kitchens because it gets you that really compact size, but you still get a full kitchen, a full bath, and a full living space on this one. We did our 2-burner recessed cooktop with your glass cover. So you still have a little bit extra counter space here. You do still have that recessed option so that's not standing up on top of your countertop here. And then your 2 burners down in there. That does sort of limit pot and pan size, but you guys can see it still gives you really good footprint right there. Doesn't minimize so much, and then you still get all that extra space up here with that. We do have a window behind the kitchen. Day and night blinds on all of our shades here, and I'll go step around so you guys can see. But right now we have our night blind down, so really blocks out a lot of the, you guys can barely see some come through, and that's straight up broad daylight too. So just parking by your neighbors or street lamps, that's really gonna block out a lot of that for you. Lift that one up and you get your day blind. So that one, you guys can see, blocks out a lot of the harsh light, but still allows that see-through visibility, at least for you in here. And if you guys want to access that window for ventilation, if you're cooking in here, you want some airflow, you can get to that window and pop that guy open right there to get some air movement across there. While we're under here, I want to point out some outlets over here. A lot of people ask where their outlets are located in their kitchen. Something I don't point out in my videos. I need to get better at that. So great location right there, right by all this extra countertop space. So I've heard from a lot of customers, they're now taking some of those smaller appliances with them on the road. I cannot tell you how many of those small appliances I have at my house. I mean, my cabinets are full of small appliances now, but the biggest one a lot of people bring with them is their air fryer. So you guys can have countertop space for your air fryer, and that plug-in is directly behind there, so no cords running all over the place. If you are looking at building a trailer, one of their newer options is you guys can actually order a microwave that also does the air frying. So keep that in mind if you guys want to go the full custom build process. Up under here we have a light and a fan. You guys are cooking, get some air movement and some visibility right there. Up above we have just our standard microwave on this one, not your microwave convection oven. Still great size, perfect for reheating those leftovers if you are one that prefers to go out to eat versus cooking at home, or heating up those leftovers that you cooked the day before. Next door, cabinetry right here. Always nice to have cabinetry in your kitchen area for your pantry purposes. Great spot for all of that right there. And then down below we have our AM FM radio. This also has Bluetooth capabilities. You guys also have auxiliary headphones, HDMI and USB. And then different zones here, so keep that in mind if you're looking at changing your speakers. Zone 1 is going to be, I believe that one's up in your nose. Zone 2 is down in your living space. Zone 3 is your exterior speakers. So you can control all of those volumes independently by turning your dial, your on-off switch right there, of course. And then back down in our kitchen to our kitchen sink right here. Smaller kitchen sink, but again, still gets you some of the dishwashing capabilities right here in your LQ. Down below will take you through the storage. Not as much storage right here because we do have our freshwater tank running underneath here to get you those 60 gallons of fresh water on board. But again, still giving you storage where they can. And I actually really like this little tray that they did right here. You know, my parents' house always had one of those right below the sink. A little pop-out tray was perfect for like your sponges and your straw cleaners and stuff. So really cool that they kind of incorporated that right there. And then 3 drawers in your kitchen, small, medium, and large. Small one has your remotes in it right now, but then they get deeper as they go. This one's gonna have all your manuals in it. Outlaw does a phenomenal job of giving you all of your information with your trailer before you take it home. And then down here, your extra large drawer down there. Okay, working our way up into our bed area. You guys will see we have a full queen size Outlaw Flex mattress in here. And then underneath we are hiding our table right now. So with your sofa sleeper, you're always gonna get your removable tabletop. So this is gonna be your tabletop right here. See, it matches your counter space. So it's gonna be the same finish right there. Great if you did want some eating space off of your sofa, a mobile work area off of your sofa, or just extra counter space when you're cooking in your kitchen, because you get it with your carpeted base. So you guys screw your table into this and you can slide this around anywhere on your floor without having to worry about scratching any surfaces, and slides really easily. So really versatile setup right there for you guys to use however you need to. They've got it stored under there right now. You're gonna have a 24-inch TV in your bed area, also on a swivel arm, so that can face your living space. And then we've got some storage down below. That's going to be a really handy spot for those remotes as well. You do have an extra plug behind your TV, but this is going to be your swivel right here. So you're just going to pull on that ring and that will slide out or swing out and swivel whichever direction. Up in your nose, each side, you're going to have one of those kick out windows and also those day and night blinds. They're both on night setting, but you guys can slide those open again to your day, all the way open to crank those windows open for some ventilation. Get some air movement up in that nose. You also have your AC ducted up there, so you do have those capabilities. And then up in the nose, you got your wardrobe closet, so perfect spot for extra blankets and pillows. If you do get cold in the night, you want to pull a blanket out of there, great spot to keep it. And then as you work your way around to the left, we have another cabinet space right there. And then coming back one step further, we have a hanging closet right here. So that one's got a hanging rod up inside of it. You guys can see you can hang up a lot of your items right there. And then you have so much space down below. That will work for like your longer hanging items especially, but also you have this space, again, access to your fresh water down there. But what I did in my LQ when I had one and was halfway living out of it was get those fabric, they're not boxes, but they're made out of fabric where you can set like little totes down in there, and those can house some of your smaller items like socks and underwear and stuff like that. Could set those in the bottom and almost get you some more storage that way, but keep things contained if you do like to keep things organized like I do. Great spot to do that. That's a huge cabinet right there. Now over here, so I did mention at the beginning of this video, this is an 11-foot short wall. That is, so this used to be our 10.8 Outlaw Pro Line XP package. So if you guys are familiar with our videos and our trailers and Outlaw's prepackaged options, this was the 10.8. This is now an 11-foot package because of this slide right here. So moving forward, we have done only hydraulic slides on our trailers. It has given us just more capability as far as size and what we can do in these slides for water capacity, storage, just kind of gives you the option to be really customizable with that space when you go hydraulic. So you guys will see that extra 2 inches. That's because we have hydraulic slides moving forward, even on these Pro Line packages. And then in your slide, you've got your sofa sleeper right here. This one does not have anything underneath it. So you get this really cool storage space down here, which if you are looking at kind of relocating that carpeted base removable table, this would be a great spot to put that. Gets it out from under your mattress. But you guys can see it goes way back in there. It's nice to have all that storage you can on board. And then we do have our sofa up in our slide. So you guys will see this is kind of the base to our slide. Our sofa sets up in there and there's nothing behind the sofa. You guys are looking at going custom build and doing that full Outlaw conversion. You can add a table behind your sofa and then set your sofa forward and do floor level. If you're looking to kind of eliminate this step up in there, that's an option. Again, your Outlaws are fully customizable. So give me a call if you do want to go full custom and we can talk about all those options. This is going to be your sofa sleeper right here. So it does lay down into a bed. Try not to lose my mics this time. And I'll demonstrate 6 feet tall. This is what you get as far as sleeping space. So plenty of space to go straight across. If you're in a pinch, you can go side by side and get 2 adults, or you can sleep diagonally, or perfect spot for smaller kids. You're going to get lots of room there. And then to pop it back up into a bed or into a couch. Pretty simple to do that. All the way around, you're going to have 3 windows with day and night blinds. And then up top, we do have some extra storage space up here. And I love that these are swinging cabinet doors versus those lift up ones. Those lift up ones, if you don't order it correctly and ask for those hinges that lock and stay open, they will constantly try and shut on you. So I love that these just swing open. And now you guys can be 2 hands putting stuff in there and not having to worry about holding a door open while you're shoving stuff in there. This space does go all the way through to that side. There's no center partition. So extra sleeping space right here. Maybe you want to throw some sheets and some pillowcases and stuff up there. Never hurts to have too much storage on these trailers. Working our way back to our bathroom. I mentioned full-size bathroom, stepping through our pocket door right here. We're going to come in here. We've got our toilet with our full-length mirror right here. But hiding over here, we've got access to some water systems under there. And then up here, we're going to have another wardrobe closet for you guys. So a second hanging space, but this one's double rod. So you're going to have 2 layers right here of hanging storage space. And we have that one up at the foot of the bed as well. So lots of hanging space on this trailer. You guys are going to go horse show, rodeo, all kinds of change of clothes. You're just going to go camping. You want to keep your clothes hung up. Lots of options to do so on this trailer. And we still have a pass-through too. So a lot of people will look for this setup as their mudroom. They like to go straight into their stud wall, which takes them out their escape door outside of their trailer. I've got one customer right now kind of going through the build process and speccing out his to where he can lock that door from the inside. So he'll come in, lock that door, and then he's actually installing some hooks, which we can check out once we get into our stall area. But hooks on the other side of this wall to hang up his muddy clothes, his wet jackets, and then step right into his bathroom and be able to come in here and shower and rinse off. We've got our bathroom vanity over here with the medicine cabinet behind it. So this one goes in the corner, which means it kind of goes way back up in here. Lots of good space right there. And you still have your lip on these shelves. so that those items do stay in there so they don't shift and kind of jump out at you when you open this. And then underneath we're hiding another outlet back here. If you guys are looking at, for me, I guess that would be hair straightener and hair dryer, but plug in razors and charge your razors there as well. Bathroom sink right here, perfect size. We don't need to get carried away with that size when we're just back here brushing our teeth and getting ready. Good to have extra counter space there. And down below, it's labeled drain valves, but this just is extra storage under here for, this would be a good spot for toilet paper, paper towels, extra bath towels, that sort of thing. It's huge back under there. And again, that one says drain valves. Outlaw does a great job of labeling all of their items, and they do give you a full tutorial on how to winterize and de-winterize your trailer. So in back behind here, these are magnetic doors that pop open. Again, full kind of see-through shower doors on this one. Kind of gives it the appearance of being more open and inviting. And again, I will step up in here, 6 feet tall. This one is your 7'7" tall. So we do have 7'7" clearance for our LQ. Always do the skylight over the shower to get you more daylight coming in and also more head clearance. You have your removable shower head right here. So you guys can pick this up all the way and be able to fully rinse off with that. I feel comfortable in here for having an RV size shower. It doesn't feel too claustrophobic. Again, if you are looking at building a trailer though, we can definitely change this around. I've got a couple customers right now looking at building or in the build process that want the shower in the corner with a seat. So adding a little bit more space back here and swapping these items around will get your shower back here. Like we saw in our vanity, goes way back in the corner, and that will get you a seat in your shower. We're going to make our way back out here. On this wall right here, you're going to have your 6.0 fridge freezer combination. If you guys want to step around and take a peek, I'll open these for you guys and show you how much space you're getting with that 6.0 fridge freezer combination. Still a good size. You guys can upgrade to an 8.0. We just have to kind of watch our measurements on these. I know in this one right here, we did get a little bit of storage space up above. But then down below at the very bottom, we also have our furnace down there. So if we were to find a spot to relocate that, or if we went up to 710, we have to look with engineers at Outlaw and those dimensions to see what we could do to get that 8.0 in here. But as your Dometic works off of propane or electric. Over here on our wall, we've got our propane controls right here. So OK is just letting us know everything's good with this trailer. You can press that check, hold down that check, it will go through and just double check all of your systems right here to make sure that nothing is leaking or draining into your living space here. If you did want to open your propane, you're going to want to hold down the button on the left. That's going to give you a green light, meaning your valve is now open. You are good to use your propane. And if you did just want to shut that off and stop propane from coming into your coach here, just hold that back down till the valve is no longer green. You have your thermostat down here for your AC and your furnace. And then down below, just our controls, we can see our tank levels, also our battery level right there. Working our way back towards our exit, a couple things I want to go over before we step out. Hat racks up here. And then over here, kind of like our control panel is what I like to call this. It's going to have all of our light switches right here. It's going to have our awning electric, push of a button goes in and out. We have our water heater right here. We have our hydraulic room extension. So remember, we're looking at hydraulic slides moving forward. This is going to extend and retract your hydraulic slide out. And then we do have an Onan 4.0 gas generator on board. This on-off right here does not control your generator. It only controls your gauge right there to show you how much fuel you have left, hours on your gen. And then right now I've got it running to show you guys all these lights, but we can turn that guy off right there and continue out of our LQ. And as we step out, before you guys leave, I'm just going to point out way down here around in that corner, we have our battery disconnect switch. It's going to be that red button looking thing right there under our fire extinguisher. Yep, that right there is our battery disconnect switch, which we are now locating within our Outlaw conversion in here versus being up under the nose. So if you wanted to kill power to your trailer, that's where you're going to do it. We'll go ahead and work our way back to our Ciamrron side of the trailer. Again, this is your 3-horse slant load, so we're looking at tail side. We did go every other with our drop windows on this one. So we're gonna have 2 drops and 1 sliding bust window. The drops are great for our customers that do travel into the warmer states, the southern states, anywhere that gets a little bit hotter, a little bit muggier. You're gonna want some more airflow, especially moving through if you do get stopped on the highway in traffic. Really nice to be able to open that up and just get them a lot of ventilation. But you also have your sliding bust window on this one, as well as within your drop window. If you did not need that much ventilation, you guys can manipulate those. We have an amber turn signal on each side. We've been doing that on all of our bigger trailers, so anything that's pretty long, anything that's pretty wide, we're looking at 8 foot wide on this one. Just like to let other people on the road know kind of what we're doing. This will indicate turning. This will also indicate when you step on your brakes. And then down below, Dexter rubber torsion axles on this one with aluminum wheels. Just take a peek and confirm what we're looking at here for you guys. My paper's all stuck together this morning. But we've got 7,000 pound Dexter Torflex axles, 16-inch wheels, and G-rated tires under this one. Also did a 2-inch axle block to lift this trailer up a little bit and get you guys a little bit more clearance. We'll go ahead and work our way back around to our load space back here. Being that we went extra wide on this one, we do go back to 50/50 doors. You guys will see a lot of our 60/40 door setups on our standard 610 wide trailers. When we go this wide, we opt back for those 50/50. So you'll see on your left-hand side now, this is where we get to our tack space. This is a folding rear tack wall. So if you guys want, you guys can actually remove your saddle rack post right here and fold this wall all the way over. You are still gonna have your mangers, but if you were trying to get an ATV in here or a golf cart or one of your more narrow side-by-sides in between your wheel wells and your mangers, this would fold over to get you that wider entrance. But within here, we do have bridle hooks high and low with your carpet behind. I love having the carpet behind my bridle hooks just to kind of protect my equipment. I'm gonna have bits on there, rein clips, conchos, Chicago screws. So it's gonna protect the investment that I have into my tack, but also the investment I have into my trailer as well. If you did not have that carpet and you just had this white sheeting, that metal would sway back and forth and leave black streaks on your trailer. That having the carpet will eliminate that, helps maintain your resale value that way. And then over here, our saddle rack post, again, that post is removable, so we can take that out, but it still is what you guys are used to seeing on all your Cimarrons. It has the track in there, so you can slide those up and down. You guys could also add at least 1 more saddle rack on there if you needed some more saddles. Depending how far up there you get, looks like you could probably add 2 as well if you needed to go 5 back here. But same saddle racks we'll see on all our Cimarrons. We have our fully carpeted right here, and then we have our wither block that goes up in the gullet of our saddle. It really holds our saddle on these racks. I've never had a saddle fall off of my Cimarron saddle racks, so I really appreciate what that does for my saddles. Again, protecting your investment into your equipment there. And then on our saddle rack right here, guys, we'll see we have our shore power cord. That could easily also be located in a manger if you didn't want to have that stored back here. But we're looking at 30 amp service on this trailer. We have one of our big OptiBrite LEDs in this space, so you have visibility within your tack room when you do have this wall open like it is. And then stepping out to our door, we've got our saddle blanket bars right here. So these do swing open on a gas shock if you wanted to get those open and have your pads easily accessible right there. But being that they're on a gas shock, they do hold themselves back against this door without any sort of clips or locks right here. So you guys still have very easily accessible pads right here. I'm not sure I ever really swing mine off of my door because it is so easy to just come access them right here. But I found that it's also easy to just flip them over this way as well. They slide on and off of there, no problem. And then down here, we still get our Cimarron brush tray on this door. I love those brush trays because of their size. They're just a really good size to fit all of your smaller miscellaneous items. I've got fly spray in there, mayonnaise-tail detangler, I've got all my brushes, hoof picks, extra Chicago screws. Might have a loose bit in there somewhere too. They do have drain holes in the bottom, so if you guys ever need to rinse that out, you certainly can. Now going back over here to our load space, you guys will notice our butt bar right here hinges right up against our folding rear tack wall. So when you do have a horse in this last stall and you do open these doors, they're not going to be able to step out until you're ready. Just an added safety feature. I've got one horse in particular that will start to back out as soon as you either open his divider or open his door. So this is great for him if he were in this stall, to just remind him he needs to stay in there until I tell him it's okay to come out. We do have removable rubber mats on this one. I'm going to pick one up and show you guys our aluminum floor underneath on these Cimarrons. This gives you a good look at the top. These pieces are similar to tongue and groove, that they interlock and create a very solid piece. But underneath is where it's really important, because if you crawl underneath your trailers at home, any other manufacturer that's not one of your Cimarrons, you're going to see typically your centers under your floor are about 12 to 16 inches. I know a lot of manufacturers standard is 16 inches. Crawl under this Cimarron, you're going to see 4 inches. So all of your centers are 4 inches apart. And then way back when, they already had the strongest floor on the market with their rectangular tubing trusses. Cimarron, they are always looking to do better and see what they can do to improve their trailers. They went ahead and went to a V-shaped truss, which increased their strength of their floor by 60%. So they already had the strongest floor on the market. Now they have the strongest floor by 60%, which is amazing. And you think about 4-inch centers, think about the size of your horse's hoof. I know I've actually measured my horse's hoofs for those soft ride boots before. I know how big they are. I know that whenever my horses step into my Cimarron, they're on at least 1, if not 2 floor supports at all times. So it gives me so much peace of mind loading my boys in there. I'm about to step up in here. This is a step up, but we can add rear ramps. You can add that real easy as part of the build process. We also stock them here at Transwest in white color. So if you want to add one, no problem at all. Our techs can do that here for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and open our dividers and go all the way up front and start there and work our way back. Now, I mentioned back in our bathroom of our LQ, we had this pass-through door. So this is where it is. This leads back into your bathroom of your Outlaw. And I mentioned this is sought after for the purpose of a mudroom. So you guys can see right now, I can step straight out of this trailer. I can get all the way out here, and I could go all the way in. I don't have my door on the holdback, so I could do that. I could shut this behind me and lock it behind me. So now no one can get in behind me. If you're looking at just locking this trailer up as you get into your Outlaw, very easy to do that without your manger here. And then you guys can also look at installing hooks either up here or up here if you did want to hang those raincoats or muddy jackets before you get into your trailer right there. And then on this one you have your stud wall. So when you do use this either as storage or your mudroom, you guys can see it's going to go all the way down to the ground right here. So nothing's going to slide through. Also a great spot if you don't have a tractor to get up in your hay rack. You just need to go on a short weekend trip. You guys can throw all your hay in here. You can throw shavings. You can throw bags of grain or cubes, whatever you guys feed. And it won't get through to your horses by having that stud wall. So a really versatile stall right here. Of course, also works just fine for a horse if you are hauling 3 horses. Now these dividers are all padded. Padding, if you see a trailer here on a lot that you like that doesn't have it, we could definitely do that here at Transwest as well. Also, you can add it during your build process if you're building. And then over here we have bar type dividers, and we also have bar type head grills. So these can be interchangeable, and you guys can specify each divider what you want it to do. So if you wanted this to be solid, you could make this solid. You could make your head grill solid, or you can interchange them. You can also change it as you go down each divider. If you have certain horses going in certain stalls and you want to have some separation or some visibility, you guys can go either way, solid or bar type. And then in stalls 2 and 3, we have the mangers, which is just like their feed trough right in front of them there. We can change the depth of these mangers as well. These ones are 18 inches deep. So we can also go a little bit shorter if you guys wanted some more floor width here. And then each stall also has 2 tie rings. In all your Ciamrron horse trailers, that's standard, is 2 tie rings. I love that for just the aspect of versatility that I could do whatever I want. I always have like a piece of twine on this one, and then a trailer tie right there. And then I clip my trailer tie to my horse's halter. So if he were to ever set back, he's just gonna pop that piece of twine off of there and not my tie ring. And then you could easily use your other tie ring to hang a hay net or a hay bag if you wanted to do that. Allow them to pick out of that, and then whatever spills in their manger, they can eat out of there. Or if you want to feed cubes in your manger, I've done that before. Cubes work really well in there as well. And then stepping back, our second divider is a partial divider. So this one's not a full stud wall to the ground, it's just your partial. You guys could also make this one a stud wall if you wanted to. Our shop also does hang rubber floor matting below these if you wanted a stud wall done here after the fact. That's an option. I just did that on a trailer. 3 different dividers all had those. Turns out beautiful. But that's an option for you guys too. We've got 3 Optibright LEDs, 1 over each stall. And then working our way up to the roof, we've got our standard Ciamrron insulated roof. You're going to see that on every single product that Ciamrron builds, regardless of if it's a horse trailer, a cattle trailer, a pig trailer, a cargo trailer, a stock box, whatever it may be, they're all going to have that Ciamrron roof. It's full one piece. It's got honeycomb core to it, fiberglass reinforced. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, so way thicker than your standard sheet of aluminum that you typically see up there. It comes with an R3 thermal value, so you're looking at 20% cooler in the summer, 20% warmer in the winter. I have a black sheeted Cimarron, and I can attest to this. My black sheeting can be hot to the touch, but in here it is so much cooler in here than it is outside. And then up above, we've got 2-way roof vents. This trailer's 7'7" tall. I'm 6 foot, so I can reach these on my tippy toes. If we went 7'10", I definitely could not do this. But you're gonna squeeze on that black piece, squeeze it in, and then push that forward. I do forward on my forward roof vents to be drawing the air in. And then on these roof vents back here at the back of my trailer, I push them open backwards like that to be drawing the air out. So they're always gonna get that really good air movement straight across their backs. Even if it is the winter and I wanna keep it really closed up with my windows, I will at least do that to get them just a little bit of airflow. These Cimarrons are very airtight, so I always recommend at least a little bit of ventilation in there for them. I know I talk about that on my doors and windows all the time, how you have to slam them shut because it pushes the air out. Just get your horses a little bit of airflow through there. Now hang tight, I'm gonna close this door real quick and show you guys our easy angle ladder. This ladder is gonna give you access to your 6-foot hay rack up there. It's a sheeted hay rack. If you're looking at building, you can also upgrade to a pod. But the easy angle ladder is something that I love. It prevents you from having to climb straight up in the air and hang on for dear life as you're climbing up. It will actually lift up and extend out with one hand. That was very easy. And now you can climb up at an angle. Makes your life so much easier getting up there. And then what we did on this trailer was we actually added a deck there at the back. So that's an upgrade. Definitely recommend that one. Otherwise you're kind of just jumping up there without a handhold onto the back of your trailer's roof back there. So the deck is nice because it gives you somewhere to go. Also gives you a little bit more storage as well. If you do fill that hay rack with hay, you have that deck back there to where you could strap down like a wheelbarrow or something like that. And then over to the right, our own Inforo gas generator's back there with its exhaust pipe. It's got its own box. Ladder slides back in really easily, sets in a tray, and then locks into place as well. So no fear of that ever bouncing out and dragging down the road behind you. It is keyed with the rest of all of our locks on this trailer. And then over here on our rear post, we've got all of our light switches. So our light switches are going to control our left-hand side, our right-hand side, our stall lights, and then our load lights back here. You guys will also notice on our tail lights, I think this started in 24, we now have that red X, or the white X, excuse me, that's going to be your reverse light. So anytime you put this trailer in reverse, on every single tail light, that white X is going to light up and give you visibility back here and also indicate that you are going in reverse. If you did want to add cameras, our shop can do that as well. I know I mentioned the ramp. They can add stall fans. They can also add cameras. So speaking of going in reverse, that's a very popular upgrade, is adding a camera back here as a reverse angle to see what's behind you as you're backing up. And then of course putting one in your stall area so you can see how your horses are riding down the road. But we'll go ahead and step around to our head side. First things first, on this side is going to be our gas fill. I'll go ahead and close this so we can see where that fuel tank is located. But again, this is your gas generator. You're going to get a 10-gallon fuel tank on this one. So you'll see your fuel tank's in here. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room in this manger. Still have plenty of storage space throughout your 2 mangers that you have on this trailer. But that's your 10-gallon regular gas fuel right there. Real easy to just fill that as you're going through a truck stop. And then our drop down windows, we have these on our head side. You do have jail bars at your head side. If you're looking at building a trailer and you want jail bars on your tail side drop down as well, that's an option. These jail bars do drop down very easily. These are full one piece, no moving parts in there, which I really like. The less moving parts, the less things to go wrong. But now you guys can step up in there. I always recommend when you do have mangers, get you a folded step stool stored in there so you can actually step up in there and see. But you guys could refill those mangers. You guys could set a water bucket in there and let them drink some water while your stop's fueling up. You guys can also just drop down the jail bars and let them stretch their heads out while you're resting. Give them that ability to really just fully stretch before you close them back in and get back going down the road. You can definitely drive with those jail bars like that and your window down. They do pop into place right there, so they're not going to catch any air and do the wave effect. And again, you do want to slam all of your Ciamrron doors and windows. Just make sure you do it right at that latch right there, because it will push that air out as they close. All of your hinges on your Cimarrons, mangers, windows, doors, they all have grease zerks on both sides, so you guys can maintain these at home. Tie rings on each side. You guys can tie up on either side, so if you are at a rodeo or horse show or a campground, you just don't know where you're going to park, you have the versatility and the ability to tie up on either side. And then this is our escape door that we've seen a couple times. This is leading into your stall area of your first stall. Also gets you access to that bathroom pass-through right there. So this could potentially be your mudroom entrance. It does have 2 latches because your horse could very easily open that latch. So when you shut it, you also get that butterfly latch right there to make sure that they stay in. You still do get a drop down on your escape door. And then we did add a fold down step. That is an upgrade, but it is nice if you are using this space as storage to be climbing in and out. You're not having to climb all the way up into your stall area. You're gonna get a really nice, convenient step as you climb up in there. Very well worth it, especially when we're looking at 8 foot wide. Over here, kind of back to some of our living quarters elements right here. Vents, city water connection, so this is gonna lead right into your water pump for direct on-demand water. Our black and gray tanks dump right there. And then 30 amp shore power right here. Don't ask where the 60 came from. This is definitely 30 amp service, but that's gonna be full for your full RV hookups. You have them both located right next to each other. As we work our way around, this is the back side of that hydraulic slide out. Nothing up front here on this side because our freshwater fill is on the other side behind our LQ door because of where that freshwater tank was located. And then up under the nose right here, upgraded to the 2 30-pound propane tanks. Always nice to have more propane on board to keep your furnace going or your fridge or cooktop. Up above, we've got our battery box right here. It is lockable. We've got 2 house batteries in there. And then remember, your battery disconnect switch was inside your LQ now. It's not going to be under here in that battery box. So just remember to use that when you do park somewhere for a while. You're going to stop, go in and eat dinner. Don't remember if you left on your bathroom light or not. Flip that red knob inside and just make sure you kill these batteries before you actually do kill those batteries. Full size matching spare tire mounted under here. Aluminum battery box right here. This is just going to be our hydraulic system for that hydraulic slide out. So before you would kind of see this just sitting out in the open, we are now locating that in an aluminum battery box to keep it protected. That also locks, same key. We have an exterior drain, exterior valve right here, spigot for that fresh water tank. That is going to take directly from your 60 gallons of fresh water on your house side. So keep that in mind. If you did want to add some water for your horses, I know High Country Plastics makes a lay down tank for the top. If you want to put one up in your hay rack, you can mount one up there and just swivel a hose down your ladder. And then dual equalizer jacks. I love the equalizer jacks because they have a manual override option. So if you ever did kill those batteries, you're not stranded, you can still jack those up and down. I've had electric jacks in the past on other trailer manufacturers that were not equalizers. They do not have that manual override option, and it really left me in a bind more than one time. So I've got that on my Cimarron now and I love it. Up here we have our sewer hoses right here. They store up under your nose. Really easy, great spot to keep them. That way you're not having to, I used to have to store mine in Rubbermaid tubs in my manger. So nice to get those out of the manger. That's a great spot for it. Over here we have our buttons to control our electric jacks right there. There are 2 buttons so you guys can work them independently to level them. And then we also have just a little house for our 7-pin. This is nothing over here. It's just a spot to store it. Keeps it tucked away under out of the elements and doesn't really let any water drain up into it and cause issues there. We just went through a lot. I have all these build sheets printed out. I would love to run through them with you guys if you have any questions, because I know that was a lot to take in. But quick recap, this is your 2025 Cimarron 3-horse LQ. We're an 11-foot short wall Outlaw Pro Line package now, so 1-year warranty on that guy. With your Cimarron shell, you're going to get an 8-year structure warranty and a 3-year nose to tail warranty. I don't have the weight on this one. We haven't got it weighed yet because it is that new, but if you guys want to know the weight in the future, give me a call or shoot me an email and then I can get that information to you guys. Feel free to reach out with any questions. You guys can call or text my cell phone, 303-918-6367, or my email, Michaela.Hall@transwest.com. Really appreciate you guys tuning in this morning, and have a wonderful holiday weekend. We'll see you next week.